Hello world and welcome back to Organised Chaos. You're with your host Phil here, and today I want to run over the 5 things I learned throughout doing my 1,000 burpees in under 100 minutes. Firstly, I want to say thank you for all the support from the last podcast and all the support over the weekend with the burpees as well. It's been great to see and hear people listening to the podcast, which is awesome. I'm actually been sent a few things after doing all the burpees, a few like world record attempts and a few things like that people have been showing me that I think that I may be able to do. One of them last night was 990 burpees in 1 hour is the world record. So pretty much what I did in 100 minutes in 1 hour. So shaving off 40 minutes from what I did. I did the math on it. It equals out to be 17 burpees per minute to get to 1,000, where I was doing 10 burpees per minute, which took me about 30 seconds. So I dare say 17 burpees would probably take me close to 50 seconds. So if I could keep that same pace the whole time, I'd be doing 17 burpees in about 50 seconds, 10 seconds rest for an hour. And in my head, surprisingly, I'm like, oh, maybe I could get that done, like potentially. So I'm going to start having a little play with that and see if I can do 17 in a minute continuously for 10 minutes and then just build off that and see how I go. But it's easy to say, not to do, so I'll give it a red hot crack anyways. But yes, today I want to go over the 5 things I learned through and after the burpees over the weekend. So the first one is willpower. My willpower to not give up or to continue on was something that I was very surprised with. I didn't think, to be honest, I went in very naive. I didn't think it was going to be that hard. And there's probably nothing that I can compare it to. The closest thing I could compare it to for me personally is running the marathon, which was a massive mental battle in itself. But I dare say, in the position at the time, I think the burpees were harder. Like I can just remember the amount of times in my head after every set, I'm like, okay, I'll do one more and this will be my last one. I'll do one more and this will be my last one. So my ability to continue on and continue through all the way to the end is something that I haven't tested enough. And after doing it, it's such a nice feeling to realize that you can actually do something like that, just to test yourself that much, especially after thinking in your head you're not going to be able to do it from about 300, so from 30-minute mark to the 100-minute mark, so 70 minutes of not thinking you're going to be able to do it, to be able to do it and accomplish it is, it's unreal. So it's crazy how you can put yourself, like I've put myself in that position to be able to do that. Like I didn't have to do the 1,000 burpees. I could have just done 100 like normally, but it was good to test myself, and I definitely enjoyed it. I definitely should be doing more of it. The second thing I learned was the power of people. So for me, if I hadn't had the people I had around me, even leading into it, doing the burpees with me throughout, and then obviously on the day of, there's no way I would have had that willpower to continue on. So having those people around me definitely helped me sort of get to that 1,000 mark. There was a lot of times there where, especially between like the 300 and the 700 mark, where it's like that middle land and you're not at halfway yet and you're like, oh God, I've still got over 50 minutes worth of burpees to do, and it just all becomes too much. And then someone else is next to you ready to go into the next burpee. It just makes you feel as if everyone's sort of on your side and everyone's backing you in and everyone thinks you can do it. So I didn't want to let myself down. I didn't want to let them down. I didn't want to let the people that I'm fundraising for down. So it was definitely amazing feeling to have all those people around me at the time, and I'm so grateful for that. You can sort of relate that back to everyday life, like myself being a personal trainer, keeping people accountable. That's somewhat of my job, yeah. So having those, like me as a trainer or someone as a trainer, or even the group classes, knowing that Sally's going to be rocking up to the 5 a.m, so you're rocking up to the 5 a.m, just keeping yourself accountable, using other people to find a more positive output is always something that I'm sort of striving towards. So that's the power of people. The third thing I learned was my mindset. I'm quite a positive person throughout day-to-day life. There is, like, everyone goes through ebbs and flows, but I dare say I'm a fairly positive person. I'm always trying to think of the light at the end of the tunnel, or like the positive of a negative situation. But between the 300 and 500 mark of these burpees, I probably couldn't have been any more negative. My head was full of demons. I realized quite quickly what I got myself into and what I was up for. I tried to change that mindset a few times, tried to obviously think about a few different things, which I touched on in the last podcast. But yeah, I was definitely in a space where I hadn't been before, and probably because I haven't pushed myself that hard. Like I said, I haven't been in that position, in that hurt locker for a very long time, and if at all. So yeah, those demons were definitely running wild in my head. As I started we had this big whiteboard set up with pretty much all the numbers in tens all the way to 1,000. So it was quite a scary visual watching it when you're only at 300 and you're like not even a third of the way through the board. So once I got to that 700 sort of plus mark, probably 750, and I'm 3/4 of the way through, in my head, and visually you can see like how much you've actually done, and in my head I'm like, okay, well, I'm not stopping now. Like after the about 750 mark, I was somewhat confident in finishing. I knew it was still going to be hard, don't get me wrong, but I was in a bit of a routine with the tens. I was quite comfortable going down and up for 10 reps, having that 30 seconds rest. I needed to find a comfortable spot too, so after every set I had to move these balloons and find a spot to rest my head and have my water right next to me. Like, I made it as I guess easy as possible to be able to rest for that 30 seconds to be able to go straight into the next set. So yeah, my mindset definitely changed after that 750 mark. And the crew started to grow as well. So it was a combination of having those people around me, my willpower, and then my mindset shifting from there's no way in hell you're doing this to, all right, we've got this. So yeah, realizing that if I can have the right mindset around something, you can pretty much do anything you want, really. Number 4 would be my fitness. So I'm probably not, I dare say I'm not the fittest I've ever been. I'm actually running probably I ran the fastest 5K I've ever run only a couple of weeks ago. But fitness at the moment, although a major priority in my life, I've got a lot of other things going on as well. So when I didn't have as many things going on, I probably was able to train a fair bit more, or be more conscious of it, or not just jump in a class to get a session in. Like I was more structured. The training was about me trying to grow, that sort of thing. Whereas now it's sort of doing what I can when I can. So I dare say my fitness isn't at its peak, yet me doing 100 burpees every day for the last 99 days before I did the 1,000 burpee day definitely helped. Like, just having that rhythm, knowing what I was in for, definitely helped. So a little bit a day makes a huge difference. So if you can't exercise, like if you don't have time to exercise, or there's this excuse after this excuse, or reasons, they don't even have to be excuses, these reasons why I can't train, if you can just do a little bit every day, or a little bit 3 times a week, a little bit more than you're doing now, you're going to see benefits from it. And you might not see them straight away, and you might not see them in a month, you might not see them in 2 months, but there is going to be a little bit of benefit from you doing something a little bit more every day or every week or whatever it may be. So for me, doing those 100 burpees every day definitely gave me a good base to be able to do those 1,000 on the weekend. I dare say even at my fittest, because I wasn't doing the burpees every day when I was at my fittest, it would have been harder to do the burpees than if I had just done them randomly when I was at my fittest, which I don't know, it was probably a few years ago now when I was training at Snap, and I had a lot more time under my belt. There was, I had access to a gym all the time, those sort of things, whereas now I've obviously got access to a gym, but there's a lot more things I'm sort of juggling at the moment, hence the Organised Chaos. But yeah, if you can do something little every day, every second day, a little bit more than you're doing now, then you're going to see a benefit from it. And I noticed that completely when I was doing the burpees on the weekend, especially after doing the 100 for the 99 days prior to that. The last thing I learnt was my ability to recover. So I was pretty regimented with my ice bar. So I had one the day before, I had one after on the Sunday, and I had one on the Monday. And I was just doing them from home. I just had like this little portable ice bath, or I did in the bath at home. And I was just in there for 5 minutes. I'd be out for 3 or so and then jump back in. And I think I did that 3 times. So that was pretty much the extent of my recovery, or active recovery anyways, like trying to sort of heal what I've done. I came away with a sore hip and a sore elbow, and then my hamstrings were really tight. But come Tuesday, so did the burpees on Sunday. Monday, I was cactus. I just did my 100 burpees, and then that was it. No other training. But on Tuesday, I somewhat felt fine again. Like had a little bit of tight hammies, but my elbow felt good. My groin was a lot better. So the ability to sort of bounce back was something, I don't know, I was sort of worried since turning 30. I was like, oh no, what's going to happen next? I'm sort of falling apart here. But come Tuesday, I played basketball, I trained, I was back. So pretty happy with how that went. I don't know. It's sort of on the Monday, I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing 2,000 burpees on day 200. But as of Tuesday, I was like, well, maybe I can. Maybe I can pull off 2,000 in 200 minutes. So I'm definitely trying to find other ways to make that day 200 a lot better rather than me having to do 2,000 burpees. But in my head, I was like, I reckon I might be able to do that now. So just goes to show that my recovery wasn't as I guess relentless, and I didn't recover as poorly as I thought I was going to, and I didn't put as much emphasis on the recovery side of things. Like I said, I did the ice baths, but I didn't stretch for long enough. When I finished the burpees, I literally walked around and tried to get my breath back, and then I went and sat down and had breakfast for ages. I didn't do any active recovery after that. I didn't stretch much after it. I could have been a lot more regimented with my recovery, and to wake up on Tuesday and feel quite all right goes to show that the old dog still got it. So pretty happy with that. So they're the 5 things that I sort of learnt throughout the 1,000 burpees. I just think the biggest takeaway for me is like the ability to push yourself and to do something you didn't think was possible. Like originally I did. I originally thought, oh yeah, I'll be able to do that. But then to be in it and deep into it and think this is no way, like this is impossible for me at this time, and then to finish it, that sensation is like no other. It's like I haven't felt that in such a long time. And like I said, the only thing I can really relate it back to is completing the marathon. which was 2014 or something for me. So it's been a long time between drinks, 9 years, but I dare say I want to try and do more and more of those things where it pushes you to that degree where you think you can't do something, and then you do it, and that feeling is addictive. That feeling is something that I hadn't felt in a really long time, and I really want to try and feel it more and more now. So I'm going to start trying to think of things that I can do, like this bloody burpee record. So leave it with me. I'll start looking at certain things and seeing what I can do. The endurance stuff, I don't think that does it for me as much as something that's quick and fast. But to be burpee related, like I said, the quickest amount of burpees in a minute was 48 something. So I know I'm not getting that. So it might have to be a little bit more endurance than that. But it's something that I'm going to try and work towards, and something I'm going to try and build on. And I encourage everyone to try and find something that pushes them a bit more than they think they can possibly be pushed. So I'll leave you on that note, and I look forward to talking to you guys soon.